don't want to use the words dumbed down because that's an insulting phrase, but do you need to streamline the offense at all for Quinn because he is a rookie in terms of removing some stuff that you might have had in for Tua?
I think it's more of instead of it's not stream it's you're trying to keep like overlap between things, and you can do things in connectivity. But overall, he has such a good grasp of what we're trying to do. He's a great communicator. He's great in the huddle with his teammates, so he has a confidence to him. So, yeah, there's certain things you wrinkle here and there, but ultimately we're not going to completely change what we do. We have a way we operate and a way we want to play, and that's why we think he'll be effective doing that.
Frank, what is the big picture end game with Quinn? Are you seeing if he can be a starter next year? Are you seeing if he can come into camp and compete for the starting job? What are you looking for in these last 3 games?
I don't think it's necessarily as like what we're looking for in the 3 games. It's like we're trying to right now. What puts us in the best position to beat Cincinnati? And I think that's what we're trying to really focus on. Is that we had a tough one up in Pittsburgh. It didn't go the way we expected. And then now, how do we regroup and come out and play the way we expect this week versus Cincinnati?
What's your assessment of Quinn's arm talent?
Yeah, it's very good. I think that as he came into camp and kind of watched his progression, he's getting used to things. He has a confidence to the way he plays. I can see why the guys at Texas really felt confident playing with him. He has a great touch delivery. He's really good with his fundamentals. So, yeah, we're excited to see him play this week.
How vital will the run game be for him, and do you want him to maybe manage his first start and lead on the run game as opposed to try too hard to make plays that could lead to turnovers?
Yeah, I think ultimately for us to run the football is when we're at our best, and to be able to have the balance of successful run attempts, and then you can be in the attacking mindset as you approach the defense. So I think ultimately every offense benefits when you can each week be able to establish a run and continue it.
Where do you stand on the manage a game in your first NFL start versus go out there and look to make the plays, throw a ball into a tight window, things like that?
I think it's basically more of like, okay, here's the game plan. Here's how we're looking to attack the defense. Here's the different parts of the defense that they have variables that we have to be mindful of. And then knowing inside of that, each play, how does it connect back towards that attack? What are you trying to do? You're trying to make sure you work the concept and attack it in the right principles. And then how does it set up versus the other plays and stuff like that? I think that's more of what you're trying to do is you continue our process to teach the offense of what we're doing, why are we doing what we're doing, and then as you make sure you do that, that's where the connectivity for the player comes back. And I think Quinn, all the guys, that's the most important thing each week is what's the attack, what are we trying to do to put Cincinnati in conflict.
Is Quinn's skill set, you think, well suited to this offense, and if so, why?
Yes, that's why he's here. Yes.
And what particular aspects of his skill set makes him well suited to this offense?
Well, I think at Texas, Sark does a really good job of having NFL concepts, having NFL approach. He motions. He does different ways to leverage a defense. They have different, obviously, hashes and alignments and stuff that obviously in college that makes it a little different. But however, there's a lot of carryover. That's why Texas has been such a vital part for guys because they have guys in a pro system. They understand the expectations, and I think that helps Quinn like a lot of the other skill guys that have come out of Texas the last couple years.
Frantic in the Cleveland game. Did you sense that?
I think there was a lot of players who felt frantic at the end. That was not the way we expected to play. The game kind of took in a manner that it was very disappointing, and I think that ultimately that game was a moment where we were able to kind of potential versus reality, where we look at the first 4 run plays we had. We got 52 yards. If we would execute correctly, we would have had 125 and 2 touchdowns. We were one or two guys off. Next week was Atlanta, and that's when things started turning. Cleveland game was one of those moments where we look back of, all right, let's go.
He did have that throw down the left sideline where he kind of hung in there. What do you remember about that play there?
That is a really good demonstration of his toughness and grit, of knowing what play is, the intention, the look that he was trying to attack, and knowing, hey, I'm going to rip it. And I think that's really indicative of kind of like who he is.
Frank, I don't know how much time you spend in the quarterback room, but I'm wondering about the dynamic and whether you guys address it, considering you've got 2 veteran quarterbacks who have been I guess, bypass or whatever, and the rookie is starting. Do you need to pull these guys aside? Do you talk to them as a group? How do you handle that?
It's communication, and then you don't sugarcoat things and all that. You just kind of say, hey, here's what it's going to be, here's the expectations, and then let's all work together to achieve it. I mean, ultimately, every player has to remember when they're up on game day, you're one play from being in. So the minute that you think, hey, I go to this role or this role, you are one play from having to be able to go out there and execute. So I think that's where the professionalism of Zach and Tua is outstanding, and everyone knows that, and that's why it's important for everyone to embrace it.
As somebody who's on the, excuse me, Hal, one more. Somebody who's on the sideline, there was late game and post game video of Waddle appearing to be smiling on the sideline, of Tua talking to Jalen Ramsey after the game, kind of jovial. A lot of fans are upset. Do you have any opinions on that, or did you observe that? Do you talk to them about that might not be appropriate? How do you handle that?
Well, in the moment that you catch, I mean, it's a 60-minute game. You catch someone at a moment where, I mean, what are you supposed to be miserable the whole time and just like be? I mean, that's just not realistic. I mean, that's painting a perception of something that's not necessarily true. Everyone was very disappointed in the way the game went and very upset that it didn't go the way. But every moment that maybe you capture, like when Darren caught the ball in the end zone, were we supposed to be like, wish he would have done that 3 quarters ago? Like, it's just, you never know when you catch someone at that moment of what it was. So I wouldn't put a whole lot of stock into it because it's a very hard game. It's a long season, and you got to find joy in each moment because that's the fuel that pushes you forward.
Where are you as a coaching staff in terms of hearing from Quinn on what he likes to throw, what he's most comfortable doing, what he's not so comfortable doing? And as a second part of the question, how much freedom, if any, will he have to audible? Will it be the same as whatever freedom Tua had, for example?
Yeah, I think each week, just knowing all the quarterbacks, including Zach and Quinn, they might not be getting the reps in practice, but they're after practice walking through everything. Like, everyone has always got to take that attention towards, I'm one play away from having to go in and play. So ultimately, he's very in tune with the game plan. He's been on the side doing it the whole time, and I think that he's very comfortable inside of how we want to operate and how we want to normally attack a defense. The plan as far as moving in and out of things isn't like you're changing a whole lot of stuff. Each week has different criteria and stuff like that we're going in and out for plays. So he's very aware of each play and what the expectations are, and we feel very comfortable with what he'll be able to do inside of it.
Based on the Texas tape and what you've witnessed from him since May, how would you describe his mobility and escapability? Average, above average, your words.
I think it's very good. I mean, I think he can extend plays. I think he has a good intent of knowing what's going on in each play, and he's able to find guys when it goes off schedule.
All right, what did you guys not see from Tua in recent weeks that you wanted to see or needed to see?
It's just, I mean, I think he kind of expressed it himself. It's just moments where not being able to execute on a play that when you watch it after it, you're just like, dang. And I think that was just, when you get to this point in the season, you want to make sure that we're putting ourselves in the right position to be able to go beat Cincinnati, and that's ultimately, I kind of think, what kind of drove the route where we wanted to go.
A question about organizational decisions. There's, I guess it's been tweeted that if Iffy Melifonwu and Nick Westbrook-Akine, if their snaps are kept down, it helps you guys get comp picks. Would Champ Kelly or whoever ever come to you or come to Mike and say, hey, we've been mathematically eliminated, now let's look at next year and let's keep these guys snap count down so we can enhance our draft position? Would that conversation ever happen?
There's decisions that are made, but ultimately, as far as my position is concerned, everything we're doing is driving to win. Like, you only get 17 of these a year, and the guys who put the work in for the entire year, we're doing everything possible to make sure that we finish the season strong for all the work, especially when you're in the middle of the season, your back's up against the wall, and things start to turn. Granted, it was a little too late, but when things start to turn, everyone involved deserves to go out in the way that they've worked so hard to make the season go from where we had 1-6 to 5-2 at the back end.
Regarding Quinn, every person has their own personality and demeanor. What have you learned about his? How would you describe it?
He is a quietly confident guy. He's got a good, easygoing disposition, but he's super competitive, and he, in the moment of each play, he's gonna be aggressive, and he has fun doing it. So it's one of those where I'm not surprised. Like, guys could go to college and then a big time recruit comes in and all that. You could say, I don't want to deal with this. I'm gonna go someplace else. And I'm not surprised at all. He stayed and was like, all right, let's compete and let's bring out the best in each other. I mean, that's kind of who he is.